what is your personal guide to consistency? So fire away.
Well, I'll go ahead and start. Consistency is key. That is everything in everything that we do. You can start something, but if you don't stick with it, you can't expect it to work. And that can literally go with anything and everything, whether it's business, health, anything. If you start something and then you stop, you can't expect it to work. It's just not going to happen that way. And one of the things that I personally do is just personal accountability. I have a planner that I use every day. And I definitely have to hold myself accountable. There's things in my life that I didn't do my whole life. And so I make sure that I just the night before, it's part of my nightly routine where I write things down for the next day, things that I want to kind of focus on, make sure I have kind of a schedule laid out to where I make sure that I focus on the most important things in the first thing in the morning before I try to tackle the world. And those are just things that I must do. It's that ritual and just developing those habits that are going to benefit us in the long run.
You know, kind of piggyback on what you're saying. I mean, to me, consistency is focused discipline. And my personal guide to maintain focus are numbers, such as finance. And numbers are cut and dry. They don't lie. It's a universal language where everyone understands 1, 2, and 3 over A, B, and C. Because one word could mean so many terms and definitions, while numbers are black and white, red and blue. I mean, you guys get my point. So by having a focused digital target, I can quantify and dissect the milestones to achieve a certain goal that will help me consciously and mentally to maintain consistent. You know, just like an old adage that goes, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. So by having a focused goal with numbers associated with it, my mind is laser sharp towards the end result. Then I can just reverse engineer the steps to get there. Now, it's not going to be a straight path. It's not going to be a perfect line, but at least by knowing where I'm going with quantified numbers, it makes it a lot easier for me to stay consistent. So for me, that's kind of like my definition or my personal guide to consistency is having a focused finance number to target and just reverse engineer from that. So anyone else wants to throw in their 2 cents?
I would say consistency. My one word is adaptability. Nowadays in business, everything is about adaptation. You know, I'm old school, so like I'm more face-to-face type of guy. But nowadays, you can't survive in business without adapting. You can't be consistent without adapting. Okay, let's say for example, like perfect example is Zoom calls. We first started this meetup in a place on the south side, which unfortunately I wasn't able to get to. But ever since then, we've been doing everything on Zoom, right? Adaptability. You got to be able to adapt in order to be consistent. In other words, you got to go with the times. You know, some people don't. You know, I used to be apprehensive about Facebook. I used to be apprehensive about Twitter. I used to be apprehensive about all the social networking sites, which you got a gazillion of them. Okay, you got Instagram. But here's the thing. That's what everybody's on. Everybody's on their smartphones, right? Everybody's on their smartphones, even if they ain't got no laptop. Everybody got a laptop, have a smartphone in their hands. Quick story, I was in a St. John's Town Center, is a very influential mall here in Jacksonville, okay? I was in the McDonald's there one day, and there was a family of 4, the husband, the wife, and their 2 children, all of them on their smartphones. Nobody was talking to each other. So that's the kind of times that we're in. So you got to be able to adapt to the market. To be consistent, you got to be able to change things. So my synopsis of consistency is you got to be able to adapt to be consistent.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Nakia said. I tell people this all the time, and it's something that I have to practice as well, is just I tell people, get comfortable being uncomfortable. The world is going to keep moving, whether we want to move with it or not. So either we stand still and do nothing, or we just, like he said, adapt and overcome, and we just keep going and doing what we need to do. And then, like you said, that showing up, that is huge. It doesn't have to be perfect. I tell people that all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not every workout is a workout that I crush. Not every day I crush it on nutrition. Not every day I crush it with my coaching calls. But I show up. And sometimes that's all that matters, because just in you doing that means that you are being comfortable being uncomfortable. It may not be something that you're that great at, but how do you get better? I tell my daughter this all the time. You practice. If you don't show up, you can't practice.
Exactly.
So that's huge.
Everybody needs to read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Because it's all about things changing and adapting to change. So that is an excellent book. It's a quick read. I have a copy of it if anybody wants to borrow it. But also consistency. I mean, you can't stay in the same place. You can be uncomfortable, but you'll be more uncomfortable if you don't grow and change. So change is always good. So, but I was looking for a quote that I received the other day about change is painful, but nothing hurts more than staying stuck somewhere where you don't belong. And that is so very true for all of us. So that's my 2 cents. I mean, my consistency is just like Jody said, I try and get up every day. I try and, get on the phone, call my clients, call prospective clients, try and, just help people. So that's my consistency, is doing that.
I would definitely say consistency for me is always learning something new. Like everybody's saying, be uncomfortable where you're at. Be comfortable in the uncomfortable situations, as far as always learning, always pivoting, and especially always growing with time management.
The minute you stop learning is the moment you start losing. The minute you stop learning, or the moment you stop learning, is the moment you'll start losing. Who said that? The greatest coach. What was the coach?
Which one? Tony Robbins?
No, not Tony Robbins. No, not coach. Football coach.
He was a football coach for Notre
coach.
Dame.
Huh?
Coach for Notre Dame.
Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi. That's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. So that's Vince Lombardi's words right there. So that's true. Learning. Never stop learning, for sure. Anyone else?
I mean, as far as being consistent, a lot of that starts within. So once your day starts going off course, or your evening or whatever, like, you have to get back to the right mindset. I think that's, that's the root of it all. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you drinking enough water? Maybe you were running late for something, so you're just kind of grumpy. Being consistently in the right mindset, it will do wonders.